All right, wait a couple of minutes to just see when the
Personal number was fine
let
for a
the
while, but it got to the point where I was giving away my
let
number
the
to
chat
everybody.
room
And so
fill up.
having Grasshopper and getting a business line.
Usually get anywhere
Personal
from
number was fine for a while, but it got.
usually get anywhere from the most I've ever had in the chat room is probably I say probably 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on average it's like anywhere from like 15 to 25 on average.
Yeah. I was on one of those one time where you had quite a lot of people.
Right.
Damn, it was popping. A lot of comments too. There was a lot
Right.
of people firing in, and that's no, that's impressive right there. Because a lot of times, when you're on those type of things, you don't really get to see. At least when I've seen, you don't really get to see, how many people are chiming in and all their questions and everything. But
Right.
doing it this platform like this, I mean, you actually get it, especially on the YouTube side at least. You
Mm-hmm.
get to see the people, firing back and forth, and on your side, you get to see them and respond to it.
Right.
That's a good thing.
It's usually on Wednesdays I try to get started at 8, but it just didn't work out for me today.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, for some reason, I was like, you want to know what? I hope we're a little bit late. That way I can get it all situated. And when he
Right.
texted, I was like, okay, yeah, that's perfect. Because I ended up taking that pain correction that I was doing. I took it a step further. Next, my buddy, he throws me business. That red
Right.
Corvette that I did last time was actually his parents' Corvette. So like, you
Mm-hmm.
want to know what? Because he approached me with a price because he knows what my base price is on something like that. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kick you a discount on that.
Okay.
Because he got me the Corvette, and then his dad, when I was there today, wants his Harley Davidson F-150 done, and that's black too. So I was like, oh no, it's all but right to kick you a bone since you've been taking care of me. And I'm all about that. I'm not about downgrading my services or anything. But if a customer, you know, or I would like to say a client, has can paid my prices, on the weekly Rosh program, all that stuff, it's all but right if they throw you a referral, or maybe you get two vehicles that hell, maybe even three, that you give them a fat discount, or you take whatever you're doing a step further than what they paid for. I'm a big believer in
Okay. So like so basically what you're just talking about was the one that you was telling me about earlier today when you gave the guy the big discount?
that. No, I'm talking about the pay correction I actually did today.
Oh, that you did today. So you did a what kind of car you did today?
It was an RX-8. It was a 1991. It was an older one, but my man, he has dropped. I shit you not, probably like 10, 15,000 in the motor of this thing.
Mhm.
It's chromed out, everything. But the thing is, he used to, when I was at the dealership, he used to work under me. And then shortly after I left, he went and started selling cars, and he was only 18 years old at the time. And within that year of me being gone, he was salesman of the year. You know what I'm saying? He was clocking at least 150,000 a year.
Wow.
Young, got two cars. Got a nice Infinity that I worked on that's black. The RX 8 that he has right now, the 91, is probably one of the fastest cars out there right now, especially in its class. And yeah, it was all but right to take care of him. On that note, since he's been taking care of me, and he's younger than me. You know what I mean? He's
Wow.
able to do things that you know a lot of people front on saying that they do, but they're really not doing. You know what I mean? And a
Right.
lot of that was I'm not going to take any credit for this, but I gave him a chance. I gave him his start, in the car business, and he'd never been in it other than working on his own cars and all that stuff. And then to take it from to selling them and then finding your niche doing it. doing that, hey, win. And he's going to be one of those kids that, 5, 6 years from now, he's going to be at the tower. He's going to be at the desk. And he's going to remember, someone like me, and I'm going to win off of that. But hey, don't call nobody else to come in here, man. I got my detailer right here. He'll come in here and handle it.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. I'm looking now. I said we've got about 10 people in the room now, so we can go ahead and get started, man. The other people just come in. But I just basically just want to ask you a few questions, get this dialogue started. And last week, I did a last week I actually did a podcast um, where I kind of touched on like time management, pricing, and
Mm-hmm.
we ended up talking about like polishing and paint correction and stuff like that, as far as being mobile. And we even talked about also having a shop as well. And well, we didn't really talk about it, but I just made a comment about pricing. When you're doing those type of jobs, make sure you price it right. And this is this real big thing that's going on uh, in the detailing community, uh, even here in my city, and on YouTube as well. You have people who sometimes who put themselves in a certain box, like I'm a detailer, or you a car washer, or um, and they also kind of make the people that don't know how to detail or don't quote unquote detail, it kind of makes them feel like they're not official or they're not worthy of being in business because they're just a car washer. And I just started doing I did a little research and just looking around, and I'm starting to see like one thing I did notice is that in our community, as far as YouTube, and even in my city, I don't see a lot of mobile detailers doing paint correction. I rarely see them with a buffer, polisher, or anything in their hand. They're mostly, washing cars. And so, I just started just trying to, I'm just looking around. I'm like, well, if everybody's charging these high prices and they're talking about paint correction, I don't see it. I don't see it. And then just for me, just speaking on myself, I rarely get women. Women are my customers. That's my customer base. Women, as far as detailing. And I have yet to have one to say, hey, I need some paint correction, or I need my car polished, or I have this. Like, I may see some swirl marks and point it out to them. They don't care. It's all about the interior. So um, basically, man, like, my first question to you is, like, how did you get into it? How did you get into paint correction? Like, give me a brief history on how you started. And how did you carve out this niche that you have? Because I do understand that you're mobile, right?
Yeah, I'm over.
Okay, so and I remember talking to you before, and you said that's what you do. That's all you do is polish. So how did you get into that niche?
If a lot of you don't know, from listening to our podcast as well, I come from the dealership, and when I started at the dealership, I didn't notice any of that kind of stuff. I was in there, and I drove the shuttle. You know what I mean? So that's where I got it started. My first part of it was the customer service side because I had to drive these customers around. So you got a pretty good idea of talking with these customers on like what kind of people they are. And when they drop them off and you go back after talking to them about, what their car is in for and everything, you get an idea of, their cleanliness. So if they want to be picky about something and you go inside of their vehicle and you see a bunch of trash and shit everywhere, then that customer is the one that has any room to be talking about how clean their car should be after you got it, you came in for service. You know what I'm saying? You think that you're gonna get a full detail after your car looks like that. So my first year was mainly just customer service, driving cars or driving customers around and just washing. I wasn't really doing like interiors and stuff like that because I was on the service stuff. Year 2 in the dealership is when I moved on to the sales side, where that requires and stuff like that. So I had a different manager, and it was an older Hispanic guy. And trust me, if you guys have ever been in the dealerships, especially back in my era, which was the late 90s, early 2000s when I started in there, the old school guys like that, those are the people that you really want to mess with. Those are the ones that would teach you. And my manager at the time, I saw him, he had rotary buffer. I didn't know what a rotary was. I didn't know what a wool pad was, but I saw him doing something with him. Hey, what are you doing? He didn't say paint correction. Those terms weren't even, we never used those. It's like, I'm buffing the car. I'm like, buffing? Like, what? I was like, what are you doing though? He's like, well, I'm removing scratches. I'm like, what scratches? Because I didn't have a trained eye. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what scratches? So basically, what we call a 50-50, he showed me, he pulled the car out in the sun and he showed me, like, well, you see this side right here? That's untouched. But what I was doing with the rotary or the buffer, you see, the scratches are gone. Even though there was marks in there, the scratches were gone. So all you would see was buffer trails. And I was like, oh yeah, like that, that's what I need to be doing. But I didn't know that you can make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm young, I'm 17, 18 years old, you know what I mean? And, that part of this game that we're in right now, you just weren't thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like a Rennie Doyle and stuff like that. Yeah, they were out there, but I didn't know who they were, all this stuff. So when I saw him with that rotary and I saw how he was moving and stuff, I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been driven like that. So late night, because I've worked crazy shifts. The polisher would be there. So I would just pull the car in, and I just start fucking shit up. You know what I mean? It's on the company's dime. You know what I mean? If anything, I'm not making them look worse. But yeah, I was damaging cars. But what people got to understand is the only way you're going to learn properly, especially being self-taught, being a person, that jumps in, not nobody showing you. You just look at somebody do it and you're like, okay, well, I can do that. Okay, you have to really mess stuff up. You really do. Just to understand that actually like mobile, okay, how to fix it, okay, or how to make it look better. Or
Hey,
better yet,
not to cut you off.
Hmm?
Could you get closer to your Wi-Fi? You might be too far and you're lagging a little bit.
Is that better?
It seems to be better.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got to really sometimes mess stuff up. So when you're mobile and you're put in a situation, a lot of times is you really didn't do nothing. You still don't understand. That's what I learned, in the dealership. And the rotary, which a lot of people are scared of, is probably the easiest tool to use. And really, on the paint correction side, a lot of people may not agree with me, but you have to have it. You have to.
Okay. So, real quick, like what city and state are you based out of?
I'm based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm all over the place really, but my customer base is not in the city that I live in mainly. It's mainly on the outskirts like Chandler, Scottsdale, Mesa, Goodyear, Litchfield. I rarely do a lot of work in the city I live in, which is
Okay. So, um, so like when it comes to your prices, um, well, let me just ask the question like this: what is your most popular package? How much is it, and how long does it take you to complete it?
My most popular package, honestly, is what I've been showing on my Instagram quite frequently lately. It's a one step, correction or gloss enhancement. That's $350. That can take me anywhere from two, 2.5 hours to 5 hours. On a package like that, a lot of people want to be like, I mean, it's not unrealistic to be around $100 an hour, but I like to average on a package like that about $60 an hour. If you want to base it out, I average about $60 an hour on that. Sometimes more if I can get it done fast. But I'm a little OCD that sometimes I know that the industry likes to say 33, to 60% correction. I've been able with knowing my product and pad combination, I'm able to, get 70 to 85% average on a one-step correction with the gloss.
Now, see,
That's my most popular package.
that's something I'll be interested in because as far as time, because you said it takes you anywhere from you said 2 to 4 hours, or did you say 2 to 6?
I say 2.5 hours to 5 hours.
2.5 hours to 5 hours. So that's something that I would be interested in because of the price, and it's something that I can do mobile. Because like what I'm seeing, and to my understanding, like to actually do it properly, you have to have a shop. But
The size of the vehicle you got to take into consideration on that note. That if it extends to that 5 hours, it's because of the size of the vehicle.
right, right.
We don't get into
So
some.
yeah, I got you on that. So like, um, yeah, I was saying that to actually do like a paint correction when you do all the different steps and you want to
Mhm.
have a controlled environment and all that type of stuff, the money starts to go up. The cost for you to do it, to get all your equipment together and your pads and your product and everything, that price starts to go up as well when you start doing more steps, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely. You
So let
know,
me okay, so when you let's say somebody contacts you and they say, hey, I got a lot of scratches on my vehicle. I need you to come out and give me an estimate. I need you to give me an estimate and how much everything would cost. So you go out, you give the estimate, you give them a price. Now, uh, when you do a paint correction, do you have to go and buy like pads every time you do it, or can you reuse pads a little, maybe one or two cars, but before you have to throw them away and get some new ones?
I've got like 300 pads, and I tell you, I reuse these things. Um, the thing is, I used to when I first got into the game, I used to think that I needed new pads for every paint correction, and
Right,
that's why I have so many pads. Okay,
right,
honestly, the longevity of the pads will last if you clean them. All you
right.
gotta do is clean them. Put some APC on it. Don't put anything like real heavy or aggressive on it. Just like
Mhm.
some APC on it and pressure wash them off and let them air dry.
Okay.
Or if you buy the really, really good pads, and I suggest if you're going to be doing paint correction, buck up and buy the good shit. Okay, because you can throw them shits in the washing machine and the dryer. Okay, and not have to worry about it.
Right,
Okay. That's just me. I'm unorthodox. I do that kind of.
right.
But you want for amateurs or people that are coming into this paint correction scene. Um, yeah, that the best way to clean the pads is APC, pressure wash them off, let them air dry, and you can use them multiple times until the like the foam starts to separate and stuff like that. or if you gouge it or something like that, then throw it away. Or if you're doing, let's say you've done some single stage paint and you just clog the shit out. There's no sense in trying to clean it, throw it away.
Okay.
But yeah, I usually get out of my pads probably, I don't know, 20 cars, 30 cars, 40 cars, depending on how I clean them or what the job consists of.
Okay.
I mean? But just always buy. Oh, if you're gonna buy microfiber pads, always buy like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Foam pads, foam polishing pads, buy 3. I always buy in 3. Like that.
So how much does it take you? How much does it cost you to do a job? Let's say your gloss enhancement, your gloss enhancement with your one step paint correction.
Oh, how much does it cost me just to perform the job? Not, as, like, what's my profit?
Not like what it costs you. What it costs you to start, like as far as like chemicals, product, pads, and all that. How much would you say it costs you for per car?
Oh, okay. Let's just see. I usually on a one step, I probably use 4 pads. So say, well, right there, just some pads. Products, say $25. I'm just speaking for a whole bottle. Pads, per pad. Towels, I use probably about 3 or 4 microfiber towels. Those are, $4 or $5 a piece. So we're looking at probably about close to $70.
$70 is the highest though.
Oh, if that's just on the one step.
Right.
Multiple steps, yeah, it could be, a couple $100. But but the truth is I've never really looked at it that way because I had so much. You know what I'm saying? And just being in the dealership, I was able to just stock up. I was able to buy stuff and put it away. I was able to buy all my tools and everything. Before I got out here really, really full time, make sure I had arsenal and everything. So I never gave myself an opportunity to look at it that way.
Right.
But looking at it that way, you bringing it up, yeah, probably on a one step, I'm probably about $70.
Yeah, cause see, like I said, man, like I tell everybody, man, and I say this all the time. I'm just the way I am. I can't explain it, but when it comes to business, there are certain things that I like. There are certain things that I like when it comes to detailing, but I'm always looking at it from a business aspect. So I'm always looking at how much it's going to cost me and what my profit is going to be, how fast it's going to take me. So it doesn't matter what I love to do. If I love to do something, don't get me wrong, I will do that. But if I can't be efficient and if I can't have a quick turnaround, like get in, get out, go to the next one, I'm just starting to see that it's not worth it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just speaking in general. I'm not talking about paint correction. I'm just talking about in general when it comes to the services that we provide. And I'm always thinking about the cost and stuff like that. And so like I noticed that a lot of people that want to get into this, that's things that they don't consider. Because don't get me wrong. Now it's cool, man. It's cool to get a black car that's got wash marring all over it, scratches and swirls from the car wash and everything, and you can just buff all that stuff out and just have it looking like you painted the car. Trust me, that's cool. Like if I can do it, I will be outside playing with all my stuff out there, all my cars, But as far as business wise, it just takes too long, and I'm noticing that people, and I'm speaking for me, my niche, and I'm just speaking for myself because a lot of people this paint correction, I mean not paint correction, this detailer versus car washers, it's got people want to kind of downplay car washers and just kind of like all I do is detail. I had a guy, I was in a I was getting my dreads retwisted, and the lady that does my hair, she was like, hey, she was like, yeah, and I need you to do my car, and I'm like, okay. And so it was another guy sitting there getting his dreads, twisted as well, and he just told her, he was like, oh, so you gonna give away my job? And she was like, oh yeah, you wash cars too. And he got offended. He said, I don't wash cars, I detail. And so I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, okay. So when people say that, you know me, I'm gonna strike up a conversation. So I say, hey, so when you say detail, what do you mean? And he started saying things, but everything that he was saying is stuff that I do that most people don't consider detail. I do, but most people don't consider that detail. And people consider detailing as paint correction. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you consider detailing?
My personal opinion is detailing is either it's clean or it's not. Detailing, this is like Jude says. Okay, detailing is not paint correction. Okay, paint correction is separated from detailing. Okay, at the end of the day, detailing is cleaning.
Okay,
something that we've all done our whole life. Except now it's in a more confined spot. You're messing with shit that you have no idea. Everything's foreign. Whatever you be, blood, urine, HIV, you don't know.
right.
Okay, detailing. Okay, there's an art to it. Okay, there is, and the art comes from knowing what stains are. Okay, knowing what tannin is, knowing that you shouldn't use degreaser unless you've used degreaser on that in particular stain before, because you don't know if you're ever going to set it in. You don't know if it's ever going to come out. You don't know if you're going to do more harm than good. Detailing is, people that do research because they want to be better. They want to be informed. Anybody, you can ask anybody what detailing is, and 9 times out of 10, the person that says that, oh, I don't wash cars, I'm a detailer, is going to say the same shit that they see on YouTube. Okay, they ain't going to tell you exactly what they think it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's how you can call their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even being in this game as long as I have, you know what I'm saying? I can say it's just a job. Okay, it's a job I'm good at. Okay, but no. Okay, I invested in this shit like it's college. Okay, I went with an open mind, knowing that you want to know I don't know everything. Someone needs to teach me something that I don't know. So yeah, when I do come out there, I added what I saw from them into my arsenal to make myself a better artist, make myself better informed. That way that if someone does call me for help, I can guide you in the right direction. Okay, being able to help people. It ain't being able to do the job. It's being able to help people that need help. Right. Experiences detailing. You know what I mean? You learn something every year. Last year you were in one place. Okay, coming into this year, you're going into a different place.
Right.
You're more experienced. And that's why you can come up on here and answer questions and everything, because it's a year-to-year proposition. It's a day-to-day proposition. You don't know where we're going to be at in 5 years. Okay, that's why I'm pushing so hard, learn as much as I can, talk to as many people, network with as people, okay, help as many people as I can, especially on the paint correction side, which happens to be my niche. So that way, when I'm in the position to, I don't have to be out in these streets, chasing money. I actually have people working for me. So when they get in the situation, I can help them, or they can help somebody else because of what they learned from me.
Okay.
You know, anybody can detail, anybody can clean cars. So what does it mean to you? Why do you do it?
Right. I'm looking in the chat and I see people is moving around, man. People talking. Um, I'm hearing people talking about paint correction, everything. I see you guys. Uh, real quick, man. Let me shout out everybody, man. Shout out to Sporties. I see you, big dog. Malik Hurd, Randy Cotton Gang. What's going on? We got June Jones in the building. Dealership Detailing Podcast. What's going
Yeah,
on, big dog?
yeah,
Um, Z Customs, Vision Service Care. I see you, man. All right, we got 27 people in the chat, but it's like probably like 5 or 6 people talking. We got James Amerson. I see you. Viz S. What's going on? I see you. But I'm looking in here and I'm seeing what people are saying. I see somebody is talking about Randy. Randy says he would rather do one car and make the money of multiple cars. So he's saying he'd rather do one car and make the money of two and a half, three cars. I mean, we all would want to do that. I mean, I'm feeling that.
yeah. I mean, that's my thing. Is I'd much
Right,
rather do one of those paints. You know, make 300, 350, depending on the size of the vehicle,
right,
and that's my only focus. Then, try to rush one of those paint corrections or gloss enhancements, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and rush to the next job, just to play catch up, chase light and all that shit, and then in my mind, half-assing another customer.
right,
I'd rather just be like, well, I'm gonna give you what you paid for today. Everybody else can wait.
right. So we got June Jones says it's money involved in just car washes and full details.
Mm-hmm.
More money, less driveways. Okay, I see. I saw somebody else say something. I agree. I saw somebody say something about detailing, but different people, like this, and it's funny now that I think about it. If I go back 10 years ago, I never heard the term paint correction back then. Just like you said earlier, you said that those terms wasn't around. I don't remember hearing those
Oh yeah,
terms. I don't remember but I 10 years ago I wasn't in the business at all. Like had no clue about the business. But I don't remember hearing people saying paint correction. It was called that's buff these scratches out. And I just thought it was wax that they was using.
yeah, yeah. Like, the first time I used a wool pad, and I removed scratches, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know that I put holograms in there. I didn't know that I had to use another step to polish
Another
it.
step to take that off.
This is funny. So I did this this black Nissan, and took it out in the sun. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, that shit looks good. All the holograms and shit like that. And these customers are looking at it too. But I'm not the only one looking.
Right.
They ended up buying this shit.
They bought
They
it.
ended up buying this thing. I'm all happy and shit. And it kept coming back. But the more and the more I started getting into this tank crack and shit, I was like, damn, like,
That was
I did
horrible.
remove the scratch. Fuck, I did fuck that thing up. Learning how to polish with the rotary, and refine, you know. And then when I did another black car, but when I learned how to polish, the polishing step with the rotary, and I did that first done check. When I got it right, that's when I knew it was real. That's when the term started coming to me. That's when my ears started opening up to, oh, what paint correct? What the paint correct is on there? Oh, that's what it is. Oh, we've been doing this the whole time, but we didn't know that's what it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your confidence is like, damn, man, I've been out here murdering fools and shit like that. Didn't even know it. You know, and that's when this whole industry detailing opened up to me. Hadn't I, known that, I mean, probably be in the same situation I was in the dealership, still plugging along, doing what I was doing, but not knowing that all these other people around the USA are doing the same thing. I was locked behind walls for 18 years.
Right.
You know what I
Hey,
mean?
uh,
Deal.
June Jones said turn your Wi-Fi off.
Oh, turn the Wi-Fi off?
Yeah, I think on your phone because you're still lagging a little bit.
All right. How's
Okay.
that working?
It
Okay.
seems to be good right now, but you know how it does. It waits till you start talking real good and it start acting up. But I see you, Mike Buffenshine. What's going on, Mike Buffenshine? Shouts out to Mike Buffenshine. I see you. Shouts out to Viz S. Um, but yeah, man, that's funny. It's funny. It's funny the things that we thought we knew back then, and looking back on stuff that you did, because I go back and I look back at my old videos. I look at my old videos and I could just when I see it, it just takes me back to my mindset back in those days,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, wow, I came a long way. I came a long way. Just my thinking process and the way I do things is totally different. The way I see things now, as far as mobile detailing, I see things differently now. But and it's one thing I always wanted to know. You kind of touched on it today. How did you and June Jones meet, and why did you guys start the Dealership Detailing Podcast?
Um, yeah, that's an interesting story. Um, like I said, when you and I were talking on the phone, you know, like June, I immediately clicked with June. It's kind of like Ken. It's kind of like a brother that I always had but never knew.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, after listening to Jimbo's podcast for a while and everything, because that was the first detailing podcast that was in our industry. And I was thinking like, you know, there needs to be a podcast for what we do as far as like I'm talking in dealership detailing terms. And I shit you not, it hadn't been like maybe a week or two. Okay, June's on fucking Jimbo's cast. I'm like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to this and then I'm listening to what he has to say, and I'm like, dude, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Oh yeah, that happens. So we ended up messaging through Facebook. It was either on Messenger or on Facebook, or whatever. Started clicking through that. And then he started the Dealership Detailing podcast. I mean, he started that before we started talking on that level. So I listened to his first episode and I was like, okay, shit, man, it's about time. Even though I wasn't the one that started it, you know what I'm saying? It was like about time, you know what I'm saying? And his first one, it made sense because he's speaking from, the lingo I understand. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be biased, but I understand what he's talking about. So I'm like, all right, cool. So that's when we started, clicking after that. And then he went on about 7, 8 episodes, and then he invited me on. He's like, hey, can I get you on the cast or whatnot? Hell yeah. And then I went on that, and then he invited me back on, for episode 11, and then it's been on since then. And honestly, I mean, I'm speaking, even with family, okay? Like, I felt like I've known this guy my whole life. He's probably the realest motherfucker I know. And I've never shaken hands with him. I've never seen his family other than, on the gram or, on pictures and stuff like that. And, we talk every day, and it's like we don't skip a beat on them. And that's why, this podcast, that we do is what it is, because at least to me, having that connection, having that road dog, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my back, and he's across the other side of the United States. You know what I'm saying? But at any given time, you know what I'm saying, I know I can call upon him and he'll be there. And he knows the same thing. And he's probably the realest motherfucker I know, honestly.
Right. Yeah, when I first what's going on, Ricardo Auto Detailing? Yeah, I see you, Malik Hurd. You talking some real stuff. I see you, man. Miller Time, I see you. Um, yeah, the first time I listened to the podcast, I don't know how I came about finding it. I don't remember, but I listened to it and I like the swag that the channel has, like the music, I like the whole thing. It's like the way y'all got it set up. It's like a real radio show. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's like a radio show or a talk show for detailers. I know I really, I can put it on and while I'm doing the car, I can listen. And I've listened to quite a few episodes. And I remember the first time that I actually listened to an episode from beginning to end, I called Sporties and I said, man, you remember that cat? I was like, you remember that cat that came in the chat that time? Detailer. I said, I probably mispronounced it. I like detailers or podcast or dealership or something like that. He was like, yeah, yeah. I said, man, it's another cat on there that calls himself Rome the Polisher. And this is where we don't know what you guys look like. We just listen to the voices.
Yeah.
And I'm like, them dudes remind me of us, man. I mean, I said the way they talk, it's like one is more aggressive, the other one is laid back. And then, but the one that is mostly laid back, get aggressive. You know what I'm saying? I said it's like it's kind of like us. I said the chemistry and their dynamic is very similar to ours, man. I said you need to go listen to it, man. And so he listened to it. He was like, yeah, I like what they doing. So I just kept watching. And because he reached out to me a while ago, man. I want to say last spring, maybe around this time last year, he reached out to me. And I was just watching him. Like I would go to his Instagram and I would just watch him, see what he's doing. I'll listen to the thing, and then I'll just listen to the podcast. The reason why I wasn't so quick to say, yeah, come on, because he was like, look, y'all come do ours, I'll do we'll do yours, And I'm like, okay, cool. I got his number, but I just watched him. And I was just like, because it's a lot of weird people on YouTube, man. And, you don't know and I'm being serious. You don't know.
For real, man.
You don't know their agenda. Like people have an agenda that they're not forthcoming with it,
Right.
And so that's why I wasn't so quick to do anything because if you up to something, if you watch somebody for 6 months, you'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You may figure it out within the first 5 minutes of watching a video. You figure it out. But I like to watch and pay attention because like the thing is that I don't know what it is about me, but what I'm doing that's so special that I got a small following, over 5,000 subscribers. You got people that got 80,000, 30,000, way more than me, but people come to my channel and I always hear, oh man, thanks for motivating me, man. I started my channel because of you. I started doing this and this and this. And they'll ask me questions, but to keep it real, I know how to clean a car. But when it comes to paint correction, like you could ask Sporties, I'll be asking him questions, and I know he'd be looking at me like, dude, you really don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't know much, And I understand the concept of it, I understand the dynamics of it, but I just never really had time to touch it myself and experience it myself to say that I know what I'm doing when it comes to that. And people come to the channel, and I guess because over the years I've built trust, and so they ask me a lot of questions. And I'm like, I don't have those answers. So I like to, so now I started watching because like I told you today, I really don't really watch other people's channels like that. You know, I stumble across some, I watch it, but like just like Sporties can drop a video and I won't watch it. I may watch a video that he dropped today. I may watch it a month from now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know, I just go into my own little world sometimes. But for some reason, people that come across my channel, um, immediately they say I'm inspired. I like what you're doing, and they subscribe, and then they go to my Instagram and they go in my DM and ask me questions. And if it's a business question or if it's got to do with cleaning a car or what products and stuff like that, I shoot it to them all day. But when they get into like paint correction and all that type of stuff, or dealership work or anything that, you know, so what ended up happening, like I said, I got on this YouTube thing to make money. It was money driven. I didn't get on here to inspire anybody or to motivate anybody. And I say this all the time. If you go and watch my videos, especially my lives, you'll hear me say that. I say it quite often. And the reason why I say it is because it's just funny how things change. You know, like I came in seeking one thing and then something else happened. And it's kind of like when you get a sign and you keep and you keep getting hit in the head with that. Like every time I turn around, like if you guys go to my older videos, just go back a year or go back 6 months, go in the comment section. At least one person in the comment section is going to say, you inspired me. So what I like to do is I like to just, you know, find those people out there that I can relate to, that knows more, that knows a part of detailing that I have no idea. I don't know nothing about. And I like to bring them here. You know, just like when we started the new wave, it wasn't something that I planned. It just happened. Randy took it upon himself to start the what you call it, the Facebook group. And you know, now you got all these people on there with all these ideas from different walks of life, different parts of detailing. You know, you got some people that they do trucks, you got people that do paint correction, everything, and they're showing their work on there, and they're asking questions, and people are answering questions, and it all started for me wanting to make money off AdSense revenue, and this is what it turned into.
But you were straight up about it. I mean, you told us straight up, you want to know what? I'm doing this for the money.
Right.
And then let it be known that you want to know what? Yeah, you maybe making a little bit of money, but that the impact that you're having, you know, is worth more than that little bit of income that you may be bringing in. You know, you don't have to tell nobody what it is or anything like that.
It's not a lot.
You're having a bigger impact, which is worth more than that money. It's like you're turning that little bit of money into bricks of gold with being able to bring, you know, your community, your followers, all of that together in one place where there's people that do a variety of different things in the industry. And there you go. You can ask all those questions. So things that you don't have an answer for, you have the network to find it.
Right.
And that's worth more than that.
Right. And that's the thing. It's because we created, like we building this network. You build this network, and it's crazy because like I went and looked on Facebook, and I went to the New Wave, you know, Facebook group, and I mean it's been, I don't even think I don't know if Randy can answer that question, but I don't know how long we've been up. I know it hadn't been a year yet. It hadn't been a year that the thing, but we have 113 members. And I mean, we get new members all the time. And like the guy that somebody joined 20 hours ago, he shouted me out, said, you know, he's here he's in the thing because of me. And it's crazy because, like, you know, time in this business, man, time is your best friend. Time is your best friend because like just imagine like with so much time passes by that group is in the thousands and that thousand person that signs up don't probably won't even know who A and A is. You know what I'm saying? Like it probably won't know who A and A is, probably won't know who Sporties is. He's just on there. You know, I want to wait. I want to see what it's going to be like when people are on there and they don't know, have a clue on how it started. Because, like, I mean, I've been on YouTube what 3 years. Um, I made my first YouTube video when as it relates to my business in 2000. I think the first one was like June 2015, and it's grown and just time just it just compounds and compounds. You know, your all your experience and everything that you're doing, and I just be so excited, man, because like there's people on here communicating back and forth with each other, and we're all a part of that. Like Randy, Toley's, Sporties, G Works. You know, we all a part of that. I remember I seen June Jones on there. Like somebody asked a question, I went to answer the question, and he had already answered, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know he was in the group. You know, so it's crazy how this whole thing started. So I like to bring people on here like you because if you go on the if you go on the Facebook group, or even if you just our little small community, us, you know, this little like maybe 20 or 30 some odd detailers that we watch each other's videos all the time. Out of us, I don't, it's not many people that's doing any paint correction. And if they are, they're not making videos about it. I'm gonna say it that way. They're not making videos about it. They're not showing, you know, a lot of paint correction. But what I do see is a lot of washing and stuff like that. So anytime I see something that we could add to our network, I throw it in there. And so if you oh yeah, and so if you're not on that Facebook group, man, you know, please feel free to join. We'll love to have you.
I'm gonna get it finished.
Okay. But I got another question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know where I just started rambling. But
Hey, that's what we do.
right,
Man, every time we pop a podcast, man, you never know where the fuck that's going.
right. So, okay. So like we was talking about like products and everything, but I didn't ask you about equipment. So how many polishers do you have? How much do they cost? And like just like total, how much you have invested into your polishers?
Okay, I've got 5 polishers. I've got my scalpel. That's the rotary. That's the DeWalt. That was $225, and I bought every one of my tools brand new. $225 for my scalpel. I've got a Rupes Miele. Bought that brand new. That was $400. I've got the Rupes 21 millimeter LHR Mark II. That was another $400 brand new. I've got the 21 millimeter Rupes Mini. That was 250, between 250 and 275. I can't remember. I'll just say 250. I bought that brand new, and I bought the Rupes Nano, which came in a kit. That was $600. So to say the scalpel and the nano, that's 850 plus another 200. That's 1,050. That's 1,100. Let's say add 2,300 invested. Just in two.
Wow. And so like these the things that you don't hear about, like the cost in going into paint correction. Me and Sportage was talking about that. And that's almost that those type of prices when you say 200, 2,000, 2,300. Like I started my detailing, I built my little crappy rig way less than that, like 500 bucks. That's that's a whole nother business for me. That's like 5 other businesses for me. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about, man, I'm like, when it comes to the business, man, I'd be like real tight. Like it's like if I made $200, it's like I'm trying to spend the least amount of money possible out of that 200 bucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stretch it as far as I can because that bottom line, I don't care how much you made. When it comes to business, that bottom line is what you made. When all the expenses and everything has been taken out, that's what you made. And and wow, man, that's crazy because I couldn't even imagine having 2,000 plus in just rotaries and DAs. That's crazy, man. And you know what? I was on here the other day and I was talking and I brought up I see you sporties. And I was telling and I was talking, I was on the podcast and I was talking and I said, man, listen, when it comes to professional paint correctors, polishers, and when I said that, I automatically thought of you when I said that. And I said, you know what? My next podcast, I'm having him on the show. But I said, you don't see, I'm not saying they don't have one, but you don't really see them with no Harbor Freight DA polishers if they're a professional, professional paint corrector, you know. And one guy was on here, he said that he's able to get a lot of scratches out with the DA polisher, but it takes him 4 to 5 days to do it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, he kept it real. That makes sense. But I knew that stuff had to be expensive because I hear, like, I talk with G Works and Sporties, and what they tell me what they pay, because all I have is a DA, Harbor Freight DA. That's all I have. And all I'm doing is I might throw some polish or some wax. If the scratch don't come out, oh well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that's how it is with me. But that's crazy, man. Like we'll be talking, and when they tell me how much they pay for a machine and everything, I'll be like, wow. And I understand, like, you're gonna have to have one, and you're gonna have to have a backup, and you may have one that have this size pad on it, so you don't have to keep switching that one out and everything. And then if one break down, and you got to buy another one. You see what I'm saying? So uh, people are not taking that into consideration, man. And I was saying that when you're doing that, when it's taking you more than, because when I say once you go into day two, and if you ain't charged right, you might start to lose money after day one. You know.
You could very well lose money, and this is why I say that paint corrections is its own entity, because you can damn well talk yourself out of fucking money without doing a test spot. So I mean, there's certain things that you have to do before you go in there, start talking numbers. Unless you're somebody that's got a lot of experience. And I'm not gonna come on here and be like, oh well, shit, I'm the master of this, that. But I'm a master of what I do personally,
Right.
With my polishers and shit. So
Right.
I can go in there sometimes and look at a situation and eyeball and be like, okay, well, I can give you this price based off of what my eyes tell me. Okay, but do I want to do it that way? No. Yeah, I want to see a test spot. Okay, because that will tell me exactly for what you're going to pay me or what you in your budget. Okay, what results we're going to get. So let's do a couple of them. Okay, I'll give you a price for both. Okay, here's A and B. A, no matter what, okay, is going to cost you minimum $350 off the rip. Okay, B can cost you anywhere from $450 to $600, $700. So pick which one you want and let's roll. Okay, is it like that all the time? No, because like we talked about before. Okay, I want to do one step out here. Okay, I'm not trying to do no 2, 3 steps. Okay, I'm a sole proprietor. Okay, and living in a dusty ass climate and all that shit. Okay, we're gonna do more harm than good trying to work that shit outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A quick learning step you'll make profit on. If you're doing one step, you should be making profit every single time. Every single time.
Right. So you basically saying that, or well, I'm not going to put words into your mouth. I'm just going to ask you the question. So when it comes to doing multiple steps as far as paint correction, you have to be in a controlled environment.
Coming from me, I'm from dealership shops. I've worked in detail shops, body shops. Yes, me personally, especially where I live in Arizona, absolutely, yes.
To do it correct, to do it the way it should be done, to do it correctly.
To do it the way it should be done for what I would charge, I have to be in a controlled environment. Okay, I'm not spoiled or anything, but I know what I can do outside. Okay, but my work is like bang go. Okay, when we're indoors, I can paint the Sistine Chapel if I'm in a controlled environment that I can control. I got my polishers, I got my cart, I got my towels, I got my shine supply product. You know what I'm saying? Lake country, whatever path. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to, move around, sit in my chairs that will slide around. I ain't got to worry about cracks or rocks getting stuck in it. You know what I mean? And you can make money.
Right.
One step's outdoors all day long. Cool.
One step outdoors, okay.
Indoors, if you do multiple steps, just me. People can disagree with me all they want, but you need to be in a controlled environment, especially if you want to make profit. And we're talking about people that's sole proprietors. We're not talking about people that've got a crew. That's a different story. Do them outside if you want, because you've got multiple people working on it here and get it done fast.
Right.
Somebody's working on the ass, someone's working on the front and on the side. Okay, you'll win all day long. But people like us that's doing it solo, June Jones and shit, you're going to make profit on a paint correction of that caliber, multiple steps. You've got to be in a controlled environment. Sorry.
Right. Okay, so let's say that Ron the Polisher has his dream shop, and you're in there by yourself, right? You have no employees; it's just you. And to get the paint correction up to like what did you say, like 90% correction or higher, like higher than 60%, 70% correction? Like how long would that actually take you? Like how many steps that I'm talking about for a vehicle that's bad off?
Okay. If we're gonna go into the high, let's just say between 90 and I'm just gonna be realistic, 92%. You know what I mean? That's gonna require multiple steps, multiple polish, multiple pads. The lighting is going to be more crucial than any of them. Okay, I'm saying anywhere from 30 to 40 hours polishing time.
So that's about what? About a week and a half?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what the schedule of the customer is, but if we're going to be realistic, yeah, minimum week.
So what would that price be like?
For something like that, I'd probably charge about 3,500.
3,500. Okay.
But that's coming with the ceramic coating.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So we're thinking about 3,500. Depending on the size of the vehicle, I mean, let's see, really, yeah, 3,500.
So like, but you can get a car painted for that. Like,
yeah,
do you have people?
They're few and far between. So a lot of people may be bullshitting when they're saying they're getting that. Okay, because like you just said right now, a customer can go to Mako and get the damn car painted.
Right.
They got to really love that car, and they got to really see the value in what you do for them to buck up on a price.
3,500 like to be just, and at the end of the day, man, even though people are paint correcting a buffer, man, to a lot of people that don't know this, that don't know our market, call it the car wash, man. And it'd be like with 3,500 for a car wash, even though you buffed it out, you know. I mean,
That's what it is.
that's how they view it, you know. So that's the thing. And I look at people real suspect when they say they got this amount of money for that, and I'll be looking like, and I'm looking at the car, and I'm like, you know, if it's like a if it's like a Toyota, like a 2004 Toyota Corolla, and they you know, this person say, yeah, this person, you know, paid me $1,700 for this paint correction, and I'd be like, well, I'm I just have a hard time believing it, you know, that somebody will pay that type of money for that.
It's not profitable, and I'm just being real with
Uh,
myself. Okay, that kind of stuff, it's not profitable. Okay, mobile, not. And that's why, when I hear you say that and I look at some of the shit that I see in social media and stuff like that, I gotta sit back and laugh and call bullshit,
right.
you know, because I've been doing this shit, okay, and 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 I've lost, just in time, I've lost a lot of time in returning the lost money, okay, and it was because of, you know, coming from the dealership, man, I had so much time. I could chase any scratch out. I could bring a car to perfection. Because not only was I getting paid for it, you know what I'm saying? I just had the time. I ran the department. Everything was under my control. Okay. When you're out here mobile, even though it's your business, okay, and yeah, to some degree you do have control. Okay, but doing that level of service, you don't have control of the time. Your mind wants to tell you things that's not there. So you're gonna be chasing shit that's not there. I'm telling you earlier today, and I'm telling you, man, this motherfucking shit's gonna cause PTSD and people that have schizophrenia and shit. Because you will. I'll find myself. I'll be like, okay, I want to be per panel to be realistic. If I'm doing a bigger vehicle, but 15 minutes a panel. That's where I want to be. And I shit you not, I look at that, and I've been an hour on that panel. at, the, at the end of the day, like, you want to know what? I just lost so much damn time trying to chase something that I tricked my mind into thinking that was there that wasn't. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm over here fucking around. And that's what happens. It happens. You get so sidetracked doing this shit because you want to do a good job, okay, but you think that you're doing an even better job by sitting on that fucking panel, and you're not.
Yo, hey, Sporties, man. This how you be sounding. This when I be talking to Sporties on the phone, he says stuff like that, man. That's how you be sounding, man. You said your mind tricks you to believe it. There's something. See, it's not that deep for me. It don't get that deep for me, man. Because I'm telling you, if I'm on a panel for longer than 20, 30 minutes, I just make it to myself, hey, it's not coming out. That's how I am. It's not coming out.
Hey, dude, that's the realism of it.
Right.
Okay? But I'm coming like from just being. I'm not gonna say I was spoiled or any case, but I just, I had the luxury of having time to, perfect my technique. All those things. So when I come out here, it's like, when I was at the dealership working the panel, I thought I saw stuff. I could do an extra 10 minutes doing that shit. Did it do anything? No, but I thought it did. You know what I'm saying? Then you come out to mobile, you're doing the same shit. Like, you want to know what? Well, fuck. That didn't do a bit of nothing. Okay? Why was I over here playing? You do the next panel, you want to know, you're like, I got better results, spending less time on that panel.
Right.
Not even playing. And then you'll get around to the other side of the car and you'll find yourself going backwards, sometimes. I mean, you lose motivation. Sometimes because of what you eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes your sleep. A lot of things play a factor in paint correcting that'll blow motherfuckers' minds. It's like, oh man, Rome, you're full of shit. No, I'm not. I am telling you right now, firsthand. Okay, there's so much shit that plays a factor in polishing paint. That's why it's not detailed. It's different. Like I do. If you really want to go deep into the shit, I can get biblical into the
Right.
paint correction. Talking about, you want to know what? This half of this fucking panel. Okay, I used one patent product combination. I went to this part because I measured this part. It was certain measurement in mils. This one was a certain measurement in mils. So now I got to push the foam. Now I got to use a polish to finish out that side. And it's the same panel. It's just like this paint was different from this one and measured different. So if I would have went that would I could have damn near burned through it with the DA.
Right.
Hadn't I switched the foam and the polish, okay, now we're filing a claim. Okay? That's a detailer's nightmare, is to file a fucking claim while it's insured. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And see that's the thing. Like me, and that's when it from a now I love cars. I've been messing around with cars since I was a kid. But when it when it comes to the business side of it, just like that word right there scared me. When you just said it, it scared me. Like filing a claim. Like that's one thing, liability. That's one thing that I'm not trying to do. So I remember when I first started, I just stuck to washing cars, man. I didn't have a problem with being, a car washer. I didn't have a problem with that, because I could charge 30, 40, 50, 55 bucks for a sedan. I started out at like $35 for a sedan, and then I've been raising my prices ever since. And I mean, just think about it, man. Just think about it. You can get, you got, especially around here in the town that I live in, you got all these office buildings. You got doctors' offices. You got banks. You got nail salons, beauty salons, veterinarians. You got everything is right here, man. And you can come out here, man. You can come out here and you can get 5 cars. You can get 5 cars at $50, $60 a pop, right? And like you said, I've been doing the same routine as far as like maintenance washes over and over and over again, that I've gotten fast at it. I've gotten fast at it. And so now, like when it was taking me 2 hours to do a car, it's taking me like an hour and 20 minutes. And then that hour and 20 minutes turns into an hour. And if the car is not bad, 45 minutes sometimes.
And that's
And
a good time.
right. And I'm like, and I'm sitting here like looking at my pockets, like I'm bringing in, you know, uh, well, not just detailing, because you guys know I do multiple things. I provide multiple services, but I'll come home, you know, minimum $300 days. And
Right there.
yeah, and if it only takes you a little over $300 a day to make 6 figures.
Yeah.
That's all
We
it takes.
about that
And
all the
and
time.
right, so like it just got to the point. Like I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you really, that you said that as far as like paint correction, being mobile is just sometimes it's not profitable if you're going past one step.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time I've heard that. I've talked to Sporties in the past, and we were just shooting the shit, and he mentioned that he said something like that or similar to that in the past, that like he let him tell it. He ain't got time to be making love to. That's how he said. I ain't got time to be making love to these cars, man. I'm getting in, I'm getting out. He ain't got time to be there all day messing around with the car. I get it, man, because I'm thinking of my customers and my clients, and I'm actually in a high end area. I actually live in the area, and so like these people making 6 figures. They have households where the wife and the husband making 6 figures, separately, you know, and
That's awesome.
I don't see them paying. I think the most that I can get out of them in the detail is maybe $400. Maybe $400. Like I just don't see them. I just don't see somebody saying like, yeah, let me, oh yeah, I can get all these swirls out, man. I can use your garage and I can get all these swirls out, and I'm gonna charge you 1,700.
Oh yeah. See, yeah. And demographics play to a certain extent. Okay, but
Right.
I know my market well enough that unless I'm working on a boat or something like that, I mean, I'm not really making $1,000 on the paper.
A car, right.
You know what I mean? And definitely not on no cars. Even though I do cater to people that got money. Okay, but they're still realistic. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they want simple services because they're on the move. So
Exactly.
that one simple service. You know what I'm saying? To wash clay and wax, wash clay and protect. You know what I'm saying? Simple service. I start those at 125. They buying into things all day long. Take me
Right.
45 minutes to do you up right.
Right. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you find a demand, and guys, this is business 101. And I'm gonna say it again. And you know, it's you could create a demand, you could create a demand and supply it, or there can be a demand and you can supply it. Once you find a demand, you want to be able to you want to be able to supply it over and over and over and over and as fast as you can. When it comes to detailing, you want to be able to I'm not saying not rush through it and do a bad job, but you want to be efficient. You want to do a good job and you want to get through it as fast as you can so you can get to the next one. That's why if you guys notice, what you say?
You just want to be consistent with everyone. Get to the point.
Consistent, exactly. And
Just saying.
you right, and you got these for example, you got these oil change places, these quick lubes. And you remember back in the day, you go to a shop and they changed the oil, they had to lift the car up, and they had this big little long thing that catches the oil and everything. And then as time went on, you saw the little bay where they drive the car and they go down to the bottom. We don't have to lift the car up. They go down to the bottom, drain it, and they can do an oil change in 10 minutes or less. And
Oh yeah.
and the thing about it is if you find a quicker system, if you find a fast system where you can get the cars out, and I'm talking about doing all the oil changes correctly and get the cars out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Sometimes you'll make more money than the guy over there doing brakes or the guy over there putting engines and transmissions in. You probably make more money.
Yeah, because you ain't got to put it on the list. Just pull
Exactly.
up, unplug, lube it, gone.
That's what I'm saying. So that's how I look at business, like, and especially being mobile. Let's keep it on. Let's keep it real, man. A lot of people, most people, and I'm not gonna say all, and we're smart. Everybody, it's no dummies here. So I don't have to be so specific in the way that I say this, but for the most part, I don't think anybody grew up thinking that they was going to be a mobile detailer. You see what I'm saying? I don't think that this was everybody's first choice. Now, it's some people out there that's probably all they wanted to do. But either we had a job, things went left, or we didn't like where we was at, and this was an option, and we saw the potential in it, and we went after it. I'm saying this to say that at some point, man, we wanted to do things our way. We wanted to do things our way, and we started our own business so we could do it the way we think it should be done. You see what I'm saying? And it to me, I just find it so crazy that when you get into this field, you got people that still try to tell you what to do and how you should do and how things should be when you have your own business. You get what I'm saying? Like I didn't get into this for somebody. Now I may now if I build a rapport with you and you my guy and I trust you, you can give me advice even if I didn't ask for it. You can give it. I'll let you do that. I'll let you do that because I know your heart. I know where you're coming from. Like Sporties can give me advice. He could just shoot. He could tell me, "Yo, you bugging. You're not doing what you know. You're wrong, man." He can do that. But or he can say, "Hey, you should do it this way." I'll give him that. But just some random somebody I don't know, come and tell me, "Oh, you should do it this way. You should do it that way." Like that's my thing. Ain't this why we started this in the first place? To do it the way that we want to do it?
Yeah,
The way we want to do it. And so like that's the thing, man. Like I remember the first time that I saw a Sporty's video. He had the drill brush and he had an air gun and he was just drill brushing. And I mean stuff was flying everywhere. And I'm like, damn, what is he doing? But when he got done, man, that car, I was like, wow, he brought that car back. I'm talking about it was like a Hyundai, and it was shot. Like, I mean, the interior was horrible, and he was drill brushing and doing his thing and everything. And that video made me call him because I was like, wow, he's doing what he want to do, how he want to do it, how he wants to, and he don't care. Because to keep it honest, you guys, especially some of you guys that's in the chat I see you guys that's making videos. After you watch other people's videos and you watch all these YouTubers and they tell you, oh, you got to use the 80 bucket wash method and you got to have 1,500 grit guards and you got to wash a pound at a time. You got to do it this way. And what happens is you be like, they complicate it so much to the point where you just be like, damn, like, okay, I washed the panel. Like, what should I do? Like, should I put it in the grit guard? Should I put it in clean water first? Like, oh, I don't want to put scratches on it. Oh, I dropped my mitt on the ground. Oh man, it's just it's just too much.
Well, the only thing I will say, and the only thing that honestly at this point that I will follow to the industry standards is when it comes to maintenance and coated vehicles. Okay,
maintenance and coated vehicles. Okay.
I will use the 2-3 bucket method.
Right.
Just because that customer invested, that kind of money. Okay.
Right.
If they're going to buy into my maintenance to keep that car looking the way they paid for it, then I absolutely will do that because it really does make a difference when it comes to that. Now, okay, if we're talking, something else, then no, hell no. Okay, I'll foam it. I got a mitt, I got 1 bucket, and we're using that. I don't care.
Right.
And the process, I'll do the rims and do all that shit in the process. The foam sitting on there, emulsifying the dirt.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of times you get wasted, in that bullshit.
Right. Yeah, because it get real crazy, man. I'm sitting here, I'm like, like you do a video, and you got people who are scared to do a video because, they might make a mistake and, go to another panel without going back to that bucket. Like, I gotta see the camera inside the bucket under the grit guard and make sure you rub it across the grit guard before you put it back on that car. And man, you know what? And I was one of those people that, like, when I first started my channel, I remember watching Junkman and how he was talking about, like, how he was showing the different. And I was like, wow. Like when he explained it, it made so much sense. So I was like, I had my grit guards, I had my buckets. Man, it's taking me forever to wash this car because I got to keep going back and forth to this bucket. I'm washing a pound at a time. I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. I ain't charging but $20. I'm like, man, I gotta find another way, And the thing is that, man, and it didn't take long, but it took me a while till I got to the point where I just said, you know what? I can care less what anybody thinks as far as my detailing. I can care less. I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. And as long as my end result looks good, and as long as my customer is happy, I'm happy. I don't care what nobody else say because I'd rather them say, "Oh, he's not a detailer," than to say, "Oh, I saw him on the corner, talking about he'll wash cars for food." I'd rather them, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be out here struggling or out here being bad. I'd rather them say that than to say I can't provide for my family. But and that's the thing, man. Like I just, I see people say, "Oh, you can't do this. You're not supposed to do this. You can't do this." So you're telling me that all these people stepped out, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna do my own thing." Whether you still got a job, whether you still got a 9 to 5, and you're doing it part time. But when you're part time, you're doing your thing. You're your own boss part time. You're doing your thing. So I'm doing all this to come to YouTube to somebody tell me that I'm not supposed to do that I can't do that, just like I was back at a job. And I'm thinking to myself, that's why I left the job. So I don't have to listen to people who feel like they have the that for some reason somebody made them king and they should dictate how you should, how you should, how you should do your business or how you should do a service. So I'm just like, man, like I get pissed off when people do that, man, because it gets to a point where I'll be like, look, I was a police officer for 10 years. I was in the military for 10 years, and feels that you always had somebody over you that gave you orders, gave you directives, and you had to follow those orders. And for me to put my time in there, leave, do my own thing, and to hear and somebody with that same mentality trying to, create the corporate plantation back, in your own business. I'm like, man, no, you're not finna do that. I'm not finna listen to that. So like, man, that's the problems I was having earlier on when I first started, man. I was just like, man, people say, "Oh, you're not a detailer, you're a car wash." And I'm like, wow. I was like, man, it's serious out here. I didn't know they took it this serious. Like, to me, it's not that serious. We just cleaning cars. We just cleaning cars. It's just like when you bought your first car, you had it out the driveway and you was washing it. It wasn't no pressure. Now it's like it's so much pressure on them
None of this was happening until that term paint correction came.
Paint correction. Okay.
That's what shifted the mentality, the multiple bucket method. All
Okay.
okay, honestly. And I ain't never seen June with no damn bucket. Okay, and he'd be out there fucking blowing people's brains out with that glove package. Be out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't get it either. Okay,
Right.
and looks like me. Okay, yes, I do use a bucket. It has one grit guard, has 3 soap mittens. Okay, but if I'm doing a paint correction, okay, hell no. Okay, I don't give a fuck how it's getting washed. Okay,
Because you could remove the scratches anyway. Right.
yeah, it don't matter. And but to detail, okay, and I'm gonna use that term loosely. It does. I don't know why. Especially if you're doing the paint, I will still see. And I'm not throwing any shade on however anybody does the thing. Okay, I'm simply coming from a time standpoint of, okay, you can't introduce any more scratches to the vehicle if you got to paint correct anyways, unless you drop the mitt on the ground instead of getting a new one. You just pick it up and start washing the car.
Right.
What you do.
Right.
I would like to give detailers the benefit of the doubt that they're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, drop it on the ground and look around and see if anybody's looking and pick it up.
Okay. Now, a clay bar is one thing. Okay, so you drop clay on the ground, it's a dead end. Okay, so okay, you can
Rinse
pretty
it
much,
off.
or grit guard or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, but I've been to these trainings. I've gotten these certifications. I've got multiple, and it is taking that to, okay, to the point that, I mean, I spoke about it on, our podcast as well,
Mhm.
that, it was shifting my mind, kind of took me out of my game, because I was trying to take some of the things that, I grasped, from being around these, these industry pros, but not realizing that that type of shit that is not for mobile detail. Now you can maneuver it to work for you, okay, but that type of stuff that we were learning, those methods and all that stuff, that is for a shop. That is for you know you when you're ready to perform those kind of things, and for you to get paid really well for them. You're not going to use. Let's just say that I just did the pay correction I did today. Let's just say that I use all that shit that I learned from these trainings. Okay, I'd still be there right now because
Wow.
there's so much, and
Right.
and and you just can't do it. There's not enough time in the day, and it's just not possible. Those techniques and everything were for, you know, panels, multiple stages, understanding tanks, understanding mills, shit like that, to get the most perfect paint you possibly can. Wet sanding, dry sanding, that kind of shit. Okay. If you're doing like a panel or two in mobile, okay, cool. Yeah, we can do this. Okay. If we're talking a full vehicle and shit, hell no. If anybody tells you they're doing that shit solo, it's a damn lie. We ain't doing it in one day. If you
Hmm.
got to stand a whole vehicle, and we should say a Tahoe, for instance, you got to stand that whole Tahoe down. Okay. And we're talking multiple standing things. So if I'm using 1500, I got to refine it with 3000. Okay, and if I can't pull that 3,000 out, then I got to go back and pull out 5,000 to refine that 3,000.
Yeah, see that when it gets to that, man, I just
Fine.
yeah, I just feel like when see the way you talking when you talking about that, man, it just feels like I'm losing money when I just say, if you're not charging right, man, and then the thing about it, man, a shop that's a whole nother animal because you got all that overhead, you got insurance, garage keepers insurance, um,
You are at a loss right out the gate. Like the customer pulls up, you're already at an L. So you got to figure out a way to keep upselling the service, okay, to make
Mhm.
some profit, even if it's a $50.
Mhm.
Yeah, they pay 3,500 for the job, okay, but you only got the 34.50 of it is the business.
Right.
You got $50 profit.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about that shit though, but
Exactly.
that's what happens all the time out here. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're making. I took home $1,500. How much did I really take home? 100.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, man. But I was glad to have you on here, man. It was a pleasure, man. We got to do
Yep.
this again, man. We got to get all four of us on here at one point. But
Yeah.
I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do you guys individually so people can see y'all personalities, apart from each other.
Yeah.
And then like one day, man. Hopefully soon, man. All four of us can get on here and just chop it up, man. But man, thank
Absolutely.
you. I really appreciate you for coming by, man. You said a lot of good stuff. I learned some things today, and I know you guys out there in the chat, y'all did as well. Real quick, give me your Instagram so they can follow you on Instagram.
My Instagram is Rome underscore the underscore polisher. Yeah, I haven't really been that active on it other than, lately, this is one of those things, I'll just pop in and out. But the podcast is where we do our thing, you know. So, shout out to you. I appreciate you bringing me on your platform, letting me chop it up with some of your people that may not know who I am. And
Right.
appreciate that.
You also have a YouTube channel, right? You also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube, I just barely started it, so it's starting to get up and running. I'm posting, videos here and there. I think I got about 5 or 6 per of them up there. But I'm still figuring, that side out where I can actually get on there and show, but also explain the process, not industry wise, but explain it to where
From your perspective, from your point of view.
to help you understand it, not
Right.
from not scientific terms.
Right. Okay. All right, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Let me go through this chat real quick, man. And okay, we got GT Mobile Detail, Alan. I see you. Is it Tsunami? T Tsunami Mobile Detail and Pressure Washing. I see you, man.
Yeah, I see you, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in there. It's a lot of people in there early. I guess it's time. It's the bedtime is starting to drop down. I think we got up to like maybe 25 or 27 or something like that. But man, until next time, man. I appreciate everybody for stopping in the chat, man. Make sure, man, y'all click that like button. Get those likes up on this video. Till next time, man. All right, Ron. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you.